There are Black women who fall in love with women. And sometimes we don't always recognize Black love in the form of lesbians. And it's even more difficult to notice when both of the women are feminine presenting. And things get even more complicated when you deal with the family dynamics of Black culture, who don't always recognize or acknowledge gay love. And when you consider those different aspects, it does affect how Black lesbian women love. And Black lesbian women do actually love women. But what is the process like? Do they fall in love quickly? Or does it take time? Or do they never fall in love at all? Are they just experimenting with one another? Are they being neglected and using one another to, to fill an empty void or space in their life? Black lesbians, their love is complex, but it is genuine and it is real. There are times when the relationships between Black women go pretty fast. Does rushing a love relationship work out in the long run? Why would Black lesbians be so eager to fall in love? Sometimes when the pressures of life get to you and you finally meet someone who you really vibe well with and connect well with, you just want to make things happen as soon as possible. But the best thing to consider is, why are you feeling in a rush? What is causing you to desire a relationship so very soon? Is it because we're women and because of our feminine, soft nature? Or is it because we just want to be loved? I'm going to talk about some of the relationship dynamics between Black lesbian women. The title of this video is Do Black Lesbians Fall in Love Easily? My name is Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I provide content for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and LGBTQ people who are interested in our experiences and living authentic lives and learning how to live a life that is true to ourselves in a heteronormative society. If that interests you, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. There is a term that is quoted, U-Haul lesbians. And what that term generally means is when two lesbians fall in love really fast. It's usually viewed as acting upon emotion because women are usually considered emotional creatures, and women will desire to be in relationships. They enjoy being in relationships. And so that makes sense why they would want to just be in a couple relationship so soon. But women loving women is a very passionate, heartfelt, and deep connection between two women. And when you are Black women, we have many things that kind of go against us in society. We are usually raised to be women who will eventually marry into a heterosexual relationship. And in most cases, they require Black women to be heterosexual and also marry within their race. So they would uphold Black women marrying Black men. And because we have these different family constructs within the Black culture, it can create a lot of pressure on Black women who identify as lesbians or same-sex attracted women when they make decisions on romantic relationships. Sometimes Black lesbians don't get to experience the coming out experience where you actually come out to your family formally and let them know that you are a lesbian, because many Black families are not supportive of LGBTQ communities. And the reason for that can vary, but historically, it always has been reflected that Black love is celebrated, and Black love actually symbolizes a heterosexual union. However, if you study history of Black people, you will learn that homosexuality always existed. And there was actually a time period when homosexuality was accepted, but there has been a lot of change in society that has actually created hostility towards same-sex attracted people or homosexual people. And this generally occurred in the decade of the 1960s. There was a lot of racial turmoil in the American society. And also, there was a lot of different viewpoints on sexuality and sexual expression, because the 60s was an era of where they would call peace and love, and sexuality was one of the areas where people wanted to explore themselves and be more free in their sexual orientation and their sexuality. And with that came a lot of backlash and hostility, and religion also mixed in with these different ideas, as well as the different belief systems that began to build up. But although there was a lot of different turmoil that was happening during that period, it continued to progress over the years. And that's why the Black family, as well as pretty much any other race, has been affected by different viewpoints on sexuality. With Black women, there's a natural desire for us to want to be in relationships. And when there's a lot of judgment and criticism of your same-sex attractions, it can make it very difficult for you to meet another woman who you can relate to and who you can settle down with in a monogamous relationship. And so when you do get the opportunity to meet another woman who identifies as lesbian or same-sex attracted, and she is a Black woman, it is a very refreshing experience. And you pretty much don't want to miss out on that opportunity to love. I believe that as same-sex attracted people, as lesbians, and particularly as Black lesbians, when you have a lot of pressure from family and also from the church community and just the societal constructs, whether you're in work or school, Black women are often viewed in a certain way. Black women are very powerful women, but over the years, they have been viewed differently from all other races of women. And because of the spotlight being on Black women, when we actually are involved in relationships that are outside of the heterosexual construct, we get even more scrutiny on our same-sex attracted relationships between women as Black lesbians. So the scrutiny, the pressure, the judgment, it does affect how Black lesbians relate to one another in their relationships. On one side, we're extremely excited to meet one another when we meet another beautiful Black lesbian who has mutual romantic and sexual feelings for us. And they say when you know, you know. And sometimes you just make things happen at the spur of the moment. And the way we establish our relationships, it may look like it happens really fast, but there is a process. From my experience and just watching and learning about other Black lesbian women or same sex attracted Black women, we usually will get to know each other before we make a relationship official. And that's because we are pretty much very intuitive and we're careful and we like to pretty much feel a person out before jumping into a situation. There are, of course, times when you just hook up and you may just have a fling, but I'm not referring to flings in this scenario. I'm speaking on actually making love happen, having and building a relationship between two Black lesbian women. And we'll communicate, have friendships together before we test the waters to see if the woman who we're interested in is a same sex attracted woman. And there's usually a vibe. You can usually tell if a woman is interested in you. It's a feeling. It's like an intangible connection that you make. And it's very passionate. It's almost palpable, like you can just taste the desire between you two. And so Black women are very passionate women, and we can be pretty much irresistible to each other. And once we know, we know. So the thing about women connecting with women, and one of the things that I do enjoy or really admire about Black women is their honesty and how upfront they can be about their feelings. Many of them don't like to pretend. They don't like to waste any time. And so women know each other, women know women. So you make that connection, especially when you know that it's scarce, when it's rare. So a lot of times the tension and also the adversity that Black lesbian women experience in life causes us to want to make that connection with another woman as soon as possible. And so when women meet each other and they have a great vibe together, and then they learn that they're both attracted to one another physically, emotionally, mentally, and sexually, as well as spiritually, why should they waste any time? They don't. They make sure that it is official, that they become an item. And although we may experience a lot of scrutiny in the world, we can use that to our advantage. It can strengthen our relationships and our bonds together as Black women, as Black lesbians, because we know that what we have is rare. We know that what we have is unique. We know that what we have, most people will never understand. And we know that what we have feels amazing and looks amazing. And why would we want to let it go? So, are we U-Haul lesbians? We've pretty much calculated what we've been through. And when we see what we really want and what we need, we could care less about people thinking about our love. We could care less about people thinking that we've rushed into a situation. We could care less about rules because we know that love is love. And when you finally, in time, meet the one, nothing else matters but the relationship between those two beautiful Black lesbian women.